Well, I'm on the farm today and I've got with me here a brand new chainsaw. This will be a Husqvarna 435. I think you're supposed to say Husqvarna, but around here it's Husqvarna. And it's not a saw that I needed. If you watch some of the videos, one of my hobbies is old garden tractors and chainsaws and outdoor power equipment. But I got a pretty good deal on this saw, and I'll tell you a little bit about that here in just a bit. But I wanted one in a box, and but where I bought it, they said no, we're required to assemble them, and so it makes me feel like I need to look everything over real good because it did come from a box store. I looked for one of these at a dealer, and they were like, "We're not carrying that junk." That was they didn't come out and say it that way, but that's kind of what they said. But anyway, it's around a 40 cc chainsaw, and it's a tick under 10 pounds according to the specs, and that would be a dry weight. And I don't even know if that includes the bar or not, but I'm not really interested in super heavy chainsaws anymore. Did not come with a bar cover. I don't know why. Maybe that's why the price was lower, but on this saw the price was a whole lot lower. And so I've been wanting to buy a Husqvarna, and I've never owned one. I've owned Steel, Echo, Poland, McCulloch, those brands, and I just never have owned a Husqvarna chainsaw. And there's a lot of them around here, and I remember way back when they came into the area, and between Husqvarna and Steel, they just kind of drove Homelight and McCulloch right on out of business. In fact, I would probably the truth is Homelight and McCulloch probably drove themselves out of business. But anyway, back to this saw a little bit here. So I read somewhere, and I can't find it. I wanted to look it up again before I did this video, but I'm told by what I read that this 435 has been discontinued. And if you go on this is November 2025, and if you go on the Husqvarna website and look this up, it shows it at like $130 off the list price. And then another thing about this saw that's kind of a dirty little secret is apparently, from what I can read online, this saw and the Husqvarna 440 are basically the same chainsaw. You know, like the piston, the crank, I'm assuming the carburetor, everything is the same. The cylinder has a different part number from what I've read. I haven't looked at the illustrated parts list or anything like that. I'm just kind of giving it to you third hand. But the Husqvarna 400 supposedly is the same saw as this, or vice versa. The 400's got just like a percentage point more horsepower. If this one's 2.2, the 400 might be 2.4. But the bottom line is, from a money standpoint, this new saw was cheaper than what I could find a used one on Marketplace after they took the $130 off. And I had to get them to put it in the register. They didn't have it marked down at the store where I bought it. And I looked them up on the internet, and Tractor Supply is where I bought this thing. So But I had my iPhone with me, and I showed them the price on the phone, and I said, if you'll match it, I'll buy it. And so they said, well, what we'll do is we'll just put it in the register, and when it comes up, we'll see what the price is. And it came up $130 off, just like I thought it would, because that's what the Husqvarna website showed, and that's what the Tractor Supply website showed. So let me get this thing off here, and I want to show you something on this bag. All right, so this chainsaw has a 16-inch bar, and the 16-inch bars one of my favorite bar lengths on a chainsaw, and I might get into that in another video. And it came with a pouch here with sorry about that interruption there. I had to slice open this bag, but it comes with a scrunch. It came with some Husqvarna oil here, two-stroke oil, and then obviously a manual, and obviously a manual with all kinds of stuff in it. Now, I mentioned that this chainsaw, the 435 and the 440 are essentially the same chainsaw. It, oddly enough, here on the manual, it's got 435 and 440 on there. So anyway, neither here nor there. I've got what I got. And just a few little things about this chainsaw. It's got flippy caps, but they're not like steel flippy caps. These things, they unscrew. Now, I don't know what's hard about unscrewing a cap. I got no problem with these kind of flippy caps. The steel caps where you have to turn it, I don't know, a half turn or whatever, and pull them out and somehow get them to go back in there. I've had trouble with those things. I've even had them break. But this is the oil, and this is where your gas goes. I think the tank is, I don't know if that tank is translucent, but it does have a clear place right here where you can see the gas, you know, how much fuel you got in it. One thing I don't like about it is it only has one bar lug. Unless it's just a teeny tiny chainsaw, I'm not crazy about chainsaws that have one bar lug. And I'm told that's not a big deal with these saws, but I don't know. It's not my favorite thing. The choke, you pull it out like that, push it up, and I guess when it fires, it comes down like that. And then to turn it off, I think you just push down on it like that. I haven't read the manual. I'll do that after I run about 5 tanks of gas through it. I don't think it has an adjustable oiler. I think you get what oil you get's what you get. Springs for anti-vibe, a kickback brake, and this wrench right here, it's got these little cutouts in it, and I'm to understand, I haven't had this plate off, but if for some reason you take it off and this chain brake is tripped, in order to reset it, that's what these notches are for. You can reset it on the bench before you put it back on. Side tension, it's got a small set of saw dogs on it, and primer bulb. I'm not crazy about primer bulbs. I've got Echo chainsaws that have primer bulbs, but to me a primer bulb is just one more thing to go wrong long before the chainsaw ever wears out. Let me pop this cover off. And I don't like this kind of arrangement either. I like a saw where you just unscrew something and the lid comes off. So there's the obviously the motor and the air cleaner. Like I said, I've never owned a Husqvarna chainsaw. And there's the air cleaner. I've read that these are right complicated little saws to work on, and that the oilers can go bad. I don't know. I really don't know a whole lot about them. We've never really had a lot of trouble with chainsaws, except the ones from back in the day. Obviously, sometimes they vapor lock. We had a Homelight Super XL that was a great chainsaw, but it would vapor lock, and anyhow, that's the chainsaw. I'll gas it up here in just a bit, and just kind of start it up and run it. But is this a good deal? Is it a Black Friday deal? Is it a ripoff? Just from a price standpoint, I think it's a pretty good deal. It's a lightweight chainsaw in my opinion. Is it like a pro saw? Probably not. Do we all need a super big heavy pro saw? No, we don't. I don't, and probably most people who watch this video don't. And sometimes we buy a V8 when we could get along with a 6 or a 4-cylinder, and this is probably one of those deals. So trimming around here in the farm, maybe keeping it in the back of a vehicle, that kind of thing. But I'm gonna give it a try. Husqvarna 435, and be some sawing with it here just briefly, and we'll catch up with you later. All right, just a little bit more here at the end. I wanted to put some footage in here. This 435 running. A little bit slow out of the gate. What you saw there was the first start. First gas, first oil in it, and first start. And it was a little bit slow, which I kind of expected. And kind of acted like it wanted to cut off on me. Like a cheap box store saw. And anyway, it seemed to settle down and run pretty good. Had decent power. I mean, obviously we need to run some tanks of gas through it, but I was pleasantly surprised. And plenty of power for what I'm cutting here. We're just knocking limbs and trees and things that fall into our fields. That's going to be the primary firewood cutting this year. And so the Husqvarna Husqvarna 435. I believe it to be almost identical to the 440. $130 off. I kind of think that's a pretty good deal. Pretty good Black Friday deal. Certainly from a price standpoint, not a ripoff, but I think that long term, you know, is this going to be a decent saw? Am I going to have all kinds of trouble with it? The reviews are mixed, so I just need to get in here and run with it. But this is the first Husqvarna I've ever owned. Probably will be the last. I don't really plan on buying any more of this style Husqvarna. If I did, it would probably be an older used one, or 200 or 300 series Husqvarna, or get on up into the pro grade. But for what I'm doing here, it seems like a fairly lightweight saw. And my first impressions, I was a little concerned based on some of the reviews I read, and of course the jury's still out. We just cut a little bit of wood right here, but right now just pleasantly surprised. So we'll talk to you later.